Hello, Braves country. This is Coach Ken Anderson for Hardcore Braves. And this is my Coach's Corner and answering your questions for the week of April 23rd. Let's get right into it. Our first question comes from our own Erin, actually. She asked, what moves do I see when Ha-Seong Kim and Sean Murphy come back? Let's address Sean Murphy first. He'll be back first. Sean, when he comes back, most likely, I think, as we discussed on the podcast, that they will try to sneak Farmer through waivers. He's one most likely to get through, and Jonah Heim will stay. He's done a very good job of calling games, and he's actually hit the ball a little bit lately. I think they like to carry three catchers just to make sure they have the depth, because if anything, they can give Baldwin a DH and Murphy a DH appearances. It just gives them some flexibility at the time. But it also depends on the roster and who's hurt and who's healthy. But right now, my guess is Farmer. When Ha-Seong Kim comes back, again, the health will be a big deal. But at that point, it's going to get really tricky for Alex. He's going to probably have to try to somehow squeeze either Mateo through waivers or Heim through waivers. Both of them may be difficult to do that, depending on teams. Mateo's the most likely. If it comes down to where he wants to keep everybody, then it becomes an interesting where he may just have to let somebody go. So it's going to be interesting when Ha-Seong Kim comes back. The answer is probably just be patient and see what health looks like. So hope that answers your question there. Ryan on Twitter wanted to know when he had the incident with Acuna getting hit twice, should we have brought Suarez in to send a message? The answer is no. We handled it very well. Elder went out and he threw a little bit lesser fastball than he was throwing that night, like 88.8. Hit Abrams in the butt, didn't hurt him. He sent the Nationals a message that we didn't like the fact that Ronnie was getting hit by Jake Irvin. And as I told everybody that night, there was going to be no repercussions. That's baseball. I know some of y'all don't like it. Even some of us, the hardcore Braves, don't like it. But the fact of the matter is, as a coach, it's just a way to let the other team say, let's calm down just a little bit. So I think the Braves handled it just right, and especially in that sense, I think they already knew Iglesias was probably going on the IL, so Suarez needs to be our closer right now. So we don't need him suspended. Next question comes from Caminiti Crew. He asked, what moves could take this roster over the top of MLB? I've been adamant I would really like a power left-handed arm in the bullpen. That's not that easy said to get, but I think if we had another power left-handed arm, if everybody remembers, that would be like a guy like Matzik in 2021. Even Johnny Venters back in the day. Somebody could really throw gas. Dylan does a great job with his arsenal. But as of this taping, Dodd just went on the IL. Bummer's not that back end of the closer bullpen guy. So I would like that. The other roster move that I'd like to see us do is I'll address that in a little bit because somebody asked me about a trade deadline. But I think if we had a couple of those kind of moves, it's a starting pitcher. And I'll get into that, but a veteran starting pitcher to put in that 3 or 4 hole to kind of get us an innings eater. I think that and a left-handed, power arm. Now, you could shoot for the moon if the Astros keep struggling and try to pick up a Yordan Alvarez, as I've seen on Twitter. I just think it's very unlikely that we could do that. And to be honest with you, I think the AA is pretty satisfied with the way we're hitting the baseball. Next question comes from Jake Wilson. He asked me, what is the rotation going to look like at the end of the year? It's a great question, Jake, because we have a lot of guys supposed to be trying to come back. So let's just pencil in Sale. We know Sale's going to be there. And let's just pencil in Strider. Let's just say Strider does come back healthy. He threw the ball good so far in Gwinnett. And let's pencil in Elder. We know Elder's durable. He's throwing the ball well. So that gives us 3. So as we get toward the end of the year, what's the rest of it going to look like? Well, in my opinion, Hurston Waldrop has the better chance of between him and Swellnock of being back by the end of the year. So he's definitely going to be a chance. And J.R. Ritchie will have a chance. He gets to start today as of this taping. And we'll see how that is. But then you have Lopez and Holmes. So it's going to be an interesting situation. I think most likely Waldrop will get back and be able to throw. But I think, and we're going to get to the moves at the trade deadline, I really do believe the Braves will add veteran starter that will fill in and be able to go into the rotation at the trade deadline. And I think we'll have the money to do that. And that's not a knock against any of the guys we have, but more pitching starting depth you have, the better you're going to be. And we always know there's going to be injuries, arms are going to get tired. So if that answers your question, Jake. Alicia asked me a question about, because there's a lot of talk on Twitter about who's calling the game when Fuentes started and people getting on to Heim. Well, the answer is Jonah Heim's got the anchor of this. He's going to call the game. The kid Fuentes does have the ability. If he doesn't feel comfortable showing something, to talk to him and say, I'd rather not throw this pitch or throw that pitch. I just don't feel right throwing it. And Jonah will take that in. And then it's a three-headed monster because Jeremy Hefner from the dugout can also give him some clues. I think Jonah did a good job with Dieter getting him through the first inning and the 3 innings he did pitch. He had a very good fastball. He had a tough time locating his off speed. And everybody wants Dieter to do good, but they always want to put blame on somebody. But I thought he had an overall pretty good outing. We won the game, and I know it's in the social media world to try to find something to complain about. But the Braves won the game. Heim did what he did to get the kid through the game. No lost confidence by him. He threw the ball well, got 7 strikeouts. I think he feels good about himself as he goes back to Gwinnett. And we'll see him back up here. And as far as that rotation end of the year, he can add him into the mix too, because if he pitches well, he may be in the rotation in the month of September. Our biggest follower, Matt Olson Burner, sent us 3 questions. I was going to answer one, but all 3 of them are outstanding, so we'll get to it. His was, if the deadline was tomorrow, what 2 moves would I make? Would I give me a power left-handed arm? The most likely candidate of all the losing teams that would be the best fit for the Braves is going to be the hardest to get. That would be Jose Alvarado. So we're not going to get Jose Alvarado because Philly's not going to trade him to us. But somebody like that can really throw some gas, get the ball up there, so the Rogers guy would do. If they tend to keep struggling, he throws the ball well from the left side. So, but somebody that can throw, another left-handed reliever, definitely I would go get. And as far as that starting pitcher, the guy that I'm going to be targeting is going to be one of the 2 Kansas City guys. Kansas City's off to a terrible start. If they don't rebound, they're going to blow that up. They're not going to waste that payroll. And either Waka or Seth Lugo would be a perfect fit for the Braves to go in the rotation, do the job. I'm a big Seth Lugo fan and Waka fan, so I think the Royals is where our answer is at, and we go, get from them. And at the end of the day, I think our rotation and our team will be one of the best in Major League Baseball. His next question was, what is my favorite memory as a coach? Through all the years of the state championships we played and we won, and just the guys that I got to coach and be around and the other coaches I met, there's just so many memories. So it's hard to find a favorite, but I guess as a dad, my favorite would be when I got to coach my son at Boyd Buchanan. And the day that he threw his first no-hitter was pretty cool to see him succeed like that and see how the team succeeded. So I guess coaching my son would be my favorite memory as a coach. It wasn't that great of a memory as I was doing it, but now years later, it was really a great thing, and he's turned out to be a great young man. So he's also asking the same question, what was my favorite memory as a Braves fan? Again, there's just so many I could choose from that were great. But I would think that the 91 season when we just come out of nowhere, and I'd been a fan for a long time, and we struggled, and we were the laughingstock of baseball in some of those years, and me and my grandfather would just go to games, and we felt lucky if we won. We just went to watch our Braves and root for them, and we had our favorite players. And the 91 season in general was just my favorite memory, and nothing will ever compare to that. Though it's been close, the 95 season was magical. The 2021 season, of course, was magical. So, but I would say the 91 season and just in general was something I'll never forget. And his last question is probably the best question everybody on Twitter wants to know. Why does he overreact on every play like it's the last play of the World Series? Well, Matt Olson-Burner, you care, and you love your team, and that's the reason why we've even talked in inboxes and kind of laughed about it, and he tries to calm down, but he's a big fan, and I know a lot of y'all think he's a big complainer, and maybe he is, maybe he isn't. He doesn't say a lot of positive, but he actually is a big fan. He sees a lot of positivity in the team, other than even Matt Olson. And but you overreact because you really care, and that's fan is short of fanatic, and so that's what you are. And keep being that, and keep following us at Hardcore Braves as the rest of y'all, and please like us on all social media, and please share our stuff. We want to keep growing. The more we grow, the more we can do. We've got big things in the work coming all summer. We want you to be a part of it. Remember to follow Ryan, Aaron, Lethal Platty, Ben, all of us, and all of our social media, and we're going to keep providing you the best content on social media. This is Coach Ken Anderson for Coach's Corner on Hardcore Braves, and as always, go Braves.